right, welcome back to Piggy's Picks. This is Piggy after a long vacation. And tonight we are going to kind of touch on where I've been, but the main topic is to discuss this guy, Hordak. This is Tweeterhead's Hordak, Masters of the Universe, 1/5 scale Maquette. That's a lot to say. All right, so before we jump into Hordak and statue descriptions, character history, like we always do, I'll kind of give you a brief synopsis of where I have been. It has been a very long summer, fall, and going into winter where I live. There was massive flooding. I mean, there was raining and flooding pretty much every day this summer. So I had to tend with that. Separate incident, a lot of my statues were damaged, and I mean a lot of my statues were damaged. I kind of have a statue hospital going on. It was kind of disparaging, but I salvaged what I could, and it's hard to make statue review videos without the actual statues. All right, so there you have it. Let's jump into Hordak, character history. So, Hordak is a villain from the Masters of the Universe. He is the enemy of He-Man's twin sister, She-Ra. But in a funny kind of way, he's She-Ra's dad. And I say that because he kidnapped She-Ra. If you've watched the 80s version, which is my favorite, he kidnapped She-Ra when her and He-Man, or Prince Adam and Princess Adora, were babies, and he raised her as his own, and she was actually captain of the Horde prior to Catra taking the position. So, Skeletor. He was Skeletor's mentor, so Skeletor was his protege. And when he fled Eternia, Skeletor was going to go with him, and he left Skeletor on Eternia, thus making Skeletor his enemy as well. Moving into the 2000s version of the He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, we did kind of get to see a bunch of villains: Skeletor, Horde Prime, King Hiss, and then we got some glimpses into Hordak. He was trying to leave the Fright Zone, so where he had been banished. So, coming on up to, and what kind of motivated me to hurry up and get back to these was I have some Masters of the Universe setups to kind of put together, and maybe we'll do a video of those one day. But also, we had the Kevin Smith version on Netflix, and then there's kind of like another kind of kitty looking version on Netflix right now as well. I won't talk about his incarnation in the new She-Ra cartoon, which is also on Netflix. We've talked about that. But he was on the original She-Ra. He was the main antagonist. His horde, the evil horde, with Captain Catra, his kind of sidekick Shadow Weaver, and he had like a little pet named Imp, and we'll talk about Imp a little bit later. So he was the main protagonist, and what was so dope about Hordak and what I loved about him was that his arm can turn into like any weapon that he needed. He did sorcery mixed with technology, which is pretty cool, which is kind of what they're doing today, but that's another story. Fast forward to today, the Kevin Smith version, which is on Netflix right now, Masters of the Universe Revelation, or the Tila Show. We got a small glimpse of Hordak at the end of the episodes associated with part 2. Excuse the traffic. It is very hot where I am. It is December 27th, and it's about 80 degrees at night. All right, so back to Hordak. Talking about how his technology was cool. He could change his arm into any type of shape he wanted. I love that, watching the Filmation version growing up. and we come to this Tweeterhead statue. There are a couple of Hordak statues out there right now. Like there's a different sideshow one. There are a few, but I particularly liked this one. This Hordak is really, really dope. He is the exclusive version by Tweeterhead. The paint job is amazing. I just like everything about this Hordak. He stands at 21 inches tall from the bottom of the base to the top spike of his mohawk. He is 16 inches wide and 11 inches deep. If you look at the detail, kind of like on the Hordak on his chest, the emblem on the bottom of the base, it is just really spectacular. It is beyond spectacular. The cape, and you can see, as I mentioned earlier, the cannonball arms. He has his staff. I mean, he is just super dope, even down to the cape and how he has the arm plates on there to rest the cape. Kind of has the hoodie going on, black leather on the outside, kind of like a red satin on the inside. His whole armor gear, everything is just out of this world. Now, this is the exclusive because you can take off his cannon arm and his arm holding staff. You can put regular arms on, but what I really liked about it is, as intricate as and detailed as this statue is, he has the new modern head that's kind of like what you see in the movies or the like 2000s version, or I'll say later renditions in some of the comics. But he also has this head that I'll be displaying him with, that kind of puts you in remembrance of the old the Filmation She-Ra cartoon. Back when, I mean, that was my life. He-Man, She-Ra, Thundercats, Spectre-Man. That's another story. But yeah, in my opinion, they knocked it out the park with this one. And a funny thing is, I have had this statue for maybe close to a year, maybe a little less, maybe a little more. But during the time that a lot of my other statues were damaged, he was still in the box. Never unboxed them until today, where I am shooting this video. But again, if you just check out the color, the detail, the sculpt of the face, the expression, I love the arm. I love every single thing about this Hordak. They knocked it completely, even down to, like, look at his knee. I mean, it's beyond the sculpt of the foot, the detail, his armor gear, everything about this, even down to the staff, is very detailed and just amazing. They did an outstanding job with this piece. Couldn't be happier. I don't see myself parting with this piece anytime soon. And before I forget, we are still going to be doing at 500 subscribers the giveaway of the Superman versus Darkseid. So keep on the lookout for that. And again, let me know what you think. Drop a comment. Please give me a like, a subscribe, a share, and let me know if there are any characters that maybe from the Masters of the Universe line or from any other line that you might want to see me review. All right, thanks a lot. Until next time.